This week, in honor of Father's Day, we've been examining fatherhood issues, and today we'll talk about being a better dad. What does it take to raise your child into a healthy life of opportunity? John Badalament wrote the book on the subject. It's called The Modern Dad's Handbook, and it looks at helping fathers to be the men that they aspire to be. He's joining me now from our studios in Boston, Massachusetts, to talk more about this. First of all, let's go through your book. What kinds of steps do you lay out in your handbook for men?
Well, Art, I lay out 4 practices that I think all dads really can use, and the practices are: 1, create your legacy, and that means looking back at the relationship you had or didn't have with your own father. The second is creating a vision of what you want to be doing as a dad, not just letting fatherhood happen to you, but actively creating a vision, like a company has a mission statement. The second practice is showing up physically, being around the house, showing up at school, just being a presence. Third is connecting emotionally, and that's the one I think a lot of guys get stuck on. So I have some very practical activities and ways to do that. And lastly is modeling healthy relationships at home, which is really about having a good relationship with the child's mother, whether she's in the home or not, but also just healthy adult relationships.
Okay, let's try to go through each of these individually. First of all, you say create the legacy. How much does it matter? Let's say, for example, a father today, if his father was from the old school and just didn't do so much of the nurturing because he was so busy working, trying to provide for the family. Do you find that a lot of young fathers will try and emulate what their fathers did, or try and distance themselves from that?
It's a great question. I mean, it really depends. I think a lot of men today really want to do more and don't want to be the distant dad that perhaps they had, as you laid out. I think it's really critical, though, that dads do take some time, and in the book I have some very specific activities to look back at that legacy and say, what are the good things, what are the gifts that I want to carry forward, perhaps a work ethic. What are the liabilities that I have to watch out for? And the liabilities are the things that we want to protect our children from, such as, say, alcoholism. And dads have to spend some time doing a little exploration. And otherwise, I think it's far too easy to repeat the mistakes of our father.
And they have to spend some time being there, as you said. We were playing video as you were speaking of fathers pushing their kids on the swings and taking them to the park. And that quality time, just being with the kids, is so important, isn't it?
Yeah, quality time is critical. I think there's a lot of different ideas about what exactly quality time is. Really, I think quality time is about presence and not being sidetracked, not being on the cell phone, not just talking to other adults, but really being there for your child. And I actually have an activity in the book that I call, it's called Creating a Ritual Dad Time. And that's a way dads can build that quality time in. It's once a month, time with dad, one-on-one. And the most important thing is that it's consistent.
Okay, and John, as we get to this next point, remember, we're men. And men, we're hard and we don't always like to show our emotion. But you say that being a good father, you have to let that guard down and connect with your kids. Let them know you love them, right?
Yeah, and I run into this. I do workshops and lectures in schools a lot. And I start this point off by saying this whole idea of touchy-feely, this is not, connecting emotionally with your child is not about being touchy-feely. It's actually prevention, and studies have shown that a close connection between a father and child is actually prevention against all the things we worry about: drug use, depression, early sexual activity. So that's the first point about connecting emotionally. The second thing is, it can be very practical, and the model I have for this is know and be known. So know who your child is, what they're doing at school, who their friends are, what's going on in their life, and be an expert, really. Be an expert about their life. Secondly is be known, and that means let your child into who you are as a man.
Sure.
through storytelling.
Very good points there. We had a picture of your book up, and the book is called The Modern Dad's Handbook, and it sounds like a good read. John Badalament, thank you very much for sharing your insights with us. As all week, we are looking at the concepts for being a better dad.
Thank you, Art.
Okay, thank you. All right, now, the question goes to you. Are you a good dad?